last coffee of the day, guys. It's 3 o'clock, so no caffeine for me after 3. It's a sad state of affairs. Any fellow coffee addicts out there, I'm sure you guys can understand. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to another video. Today I want to talk to you guys a little bit more about photo editing and how to achieve that cinematic film look for your work. Now, that is something that a lot of people are interested in. I get a lot of questions on Instagram about how I achieve that in my edits. If you haven't seen my Instagram, then have a scroll through my grid, go and check out my posts, and you'll get an idea of the kind of look that we're going for. So the aim of this video, and it's going to be like a multi-part series I think, because there's so much to go into, it's probably going to be difficult to cover it all in one video, so I'm going to break this up and we're going to cover the basics today about how you can achieve that cinematic look for your edits in Lightroom. So without further ado, let's head up to the office, fire up Lightroom, and I will see you guys up there. Hey guys, welcome back to the office, and let's get started with today's tutorial. Just so you've all got a few kind of points of reference and some inspiration to draw from when you start to implement this technique, I'm going to link a load of creators down below that you should definitely go and check out just to get some more inspiration for this cinematic style. So I hope you enjoy them, go and check out their work, and let them know that I sent you there. If you do find this video helpful, make sure to give it a thumbs up, leave a comment down below, and if you're not subscribed already, please do consider subscribing to the channel. Really helps me out, and I would really appreciate it. Anyway, without further ado, let's jump into Lightroom and get started. So this is the image that we're going to be using today for this demonstration. It's a coastal shot that I took a couple of weeks ago. The real kind of crux of the filmic and cinematic look is due to the color grading or split toning that you will be using just to manipulate the image further. So split toning allows you to implement different colors into different areas of the image to kind of give you that unique look. Kind of cinematic look we're going to be going for today is the kind of orange and teal look. It's something that you might have seen pop up on Instagram, and it's probably something that you'll recognize from films that you might have watched. It's a really popular and common color grade. It's really just using the complementary colors of blue and orange, or orange and teal, just to kind of, cast that onto the image to create that style. But what I've done is I've made a few basic adjustments using the kind of adjustments panel on the right hand side, just to kind of get us part of the way there. So the exposure I've brought down somewhat, the contrast I've left the same for now, because we're going to be looking at the tone curves as just a way to tweak this. I like to bring highlights down quite a bit, not all the way down, but certainly enough to flatten the image. We don't want any kind of harsh whites or bright areas of the image, and we want to make sure that kind of those areas where the light is kind of hitting the rocks to kind of stay intact. And then we're going to come down to the kind of tone curve here and just make sure that we can make some adjustments. So I've plotted some points. Really, 3 points is all you're really going to need for this. And we're just going to create a basic S-curve to kind of add some contrast in. So the key characteristic of the cinematic film look is the kind of crushed blacks and more soft shadows. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab the point at the bottom and we're just going to drag it up that y-axis. And you'll notice that around the points of the image around the harbour wall and sort of in the darker areas, that they are going to become a lot more soft and almost pastel-like in colour. And we're also going to try and do the same for the highlights by dragging those down. Again, just making sure that there's no real sort of bright areas or harsh areas. We want this to have a really kind of flat and almost kind of dreamy look to it. An S-curve is really common, and it's a really good way to just add some nice easy contrast whilst imparting some of that kind of stylistic look. So we're not going to talk about the colours in the HSL tab in this video. We're going to really focus on the split toning, because this is really going to be how you kind of create that colour cast and that colour grade for the image. So at the moment I've got the kind of split toning turned off, but I can turn it on just to show you what adjustments I've made for this image so you can see what we're going to aim for, and then I'll just talk you through the adjustments that I've made. So you can see here by turning that on, we're right there with that cinematic film feel. There's now kind of more colour in the actual image itself that's more synonymous with that cinematic feel. So really with the split toning, you've got your highlights and you can adjust the hue, which is basically the colour of the highlights, and you've got the saturation. So you can see if we adjust the hue slider that any area of the image that is highlights, that colour that you select is going to be cast on those particular tones. So for this cinematic look, because this is golden hour, we're going to add some nice golden lights to those highlights, and we're going to just adjust the saturation here so we can see exactly what colour we're actually casting. And all it's then a case of doing is adjusting the saturation to taste. We can see that there's some areas in the sky, some areas around the harbour wall and the sand where that's going to become really, really predominant. So again, just use that saturation slider to adjust it. And then we can do the same for the shadows. And we'll want to impart that blue cast onto the shadows. So again, we'll just adjust the hue slider, get it somewhere in that blue and teal area. And then what you can do is just use the saturation to really help you determine what colour or what hue you're actually looking at. So again, just adjust that, slide it up so you can see. And again, it's really just a case of fine-tuning that hue slider to kind of find the right colour that feels right for you. So for me, I'm going for like a bit more of a teal look, so I'm going to pop it to around 202. And then it's a case of just upping the saturation to a point where, again, it feels like it's a subtle change, but enough to kind of give it that style that we're going for. You've then got the balance slider, and again the balance slider just allows you to change which either highlight or shadow is going to be the predominant area of this image. For this particular one, I do want the kind of highlights to be the focus, because those are really going to be the tones that I want to emphasize, because it's golden hour, we've got some nice light there. So I'm just going to put that around 28 or so, and that's going to give us a pretty nice look. And it's as simple as that really, guys. Just a few adjustments in the split toning can really stylize your image. So I hope you found that useful, and I hope that's something that you can go away and experiment with. Again, there's no hard and fast rules with this, but I find split toning to be a great way to create a cinematic look, just to kind of make sure that you're color grading your images, and you can then draw some inspiration from those accounts that I've mentioned linked in the description, and just have fun with it. And this will be a multi-video series, so I'll be delving into more areas of the kind of cinematic editing style over the coming weeks, so make sure you are subscribed just so you don't miss any of those videos. Make sure to hit the bell notification as well so you get notified when I post, and I will see you all in the next one.